Hello class 10. Welcome to my class. I'm Momita and today I shall be doing the story The Necklace, written by Guy de Maupassant. Now, this story, The Necklace, tells us about human lust and its ultimate consequence. Desire and greed, uncontrolled desire and greed leads to our destruction. This message is beautifully reflected by the story, presented by the story, The Necklace. The central character of this story is Matilda, who is a very beautiful lady. She has natural beauty, but she lacks satisfaction. She lacks contentment, right? She has everything in her life, but she is constantly dissatisfied with whatever she has in her life. She is born in a family of clerk and is also married in a family of clerk, but she is very ambitious. She wants to rise to a higher social strata, right? She believes that her beauty, she has beauty and she is not fit. It is not justified that she is born into a poor household. Neither does she find contentment and happiness in the marriage. Though her husband is an extremely nice man, loves her a lot, provides her with everything that her means, that he could afford, but yet she is dissatisfied. Yet she wants more from life. She wants social success. She wants to live among the highest strata of society. Though she knew it very well, her means would not allow her to do so. Matilda, in this story, falls into a trap unknowingly, or rather we can say without understanding what actually she was doing. Matilda borrowed a necklace from one of her rich friends because she wanted to attend a ball dance party which was held in the education minister's house. She wanted to look elegant, beautiful. She wanted to present herself as a very rich woman. So she borrowed a diamond necklace. Rather, it was not actually a diamond necklace. She thought that it was a diamond necklace. Rather, it was quite deceptive. It was a fake. It was a diamond made of fake diamonds. It was a necklace made of fake diamonds. She borrowed it. She went to the ball dance. She was a huge social success. All the men looked at her. They were eager to dance with her. But at the end of the ball, she found that the necklace was lost. And there begins the misery of her life. From then onward, she knew that she has to repay the money and buy the necklace, which her means could not provide her. Her husband was such a gentleman that even he worked hard. So the whatever she had to surrender everything because they had to return the money. They had to return the diamond. They borrowed money from others at very high rate of interest, and with that money they somehow managed to return the necklace to Madame Forestier. After that, their misery began. In order to repay the debt or the money that they had borrowed, they had to dispense off with the service of all the servants they had in their family, right? Matilda had to work all by herself. They had no maid. They had to shift to a poorer quarter where the rent was low. Madame Forestier had to work Matilda had to work very hard. Even the husband had to work day in and day out. For 10 years, they had such a misfortune. And after that, Matilda had lost her beauty, for which she was always very proud, for which she used to think that she's not fit to born in the family of clerk. That beauty was lost. And after that, she found that after the terrible drudgery for so many years, one day when she meets Madame Forestier, she finds out after a conversation that the diamond necklace was not a real one. It was only a fake necklace for which she had been working so hard. So there lies the irony that whatever she thinks to be real was actually deceptive. Similarly, her beauty, social success, everything was deceptive. She sacrificed her entire youth to collect money for that necklace. But at the end, she finds out that the whole thing was deceptive. She fails to understand the real love of her husband. She ran after money. She was never pleased with what she had in life. Right? So now let us start with the story, The Necklace. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into the family of clerks. This was what she used to think, that it was an error of destiny that she was born into the family of clerk. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved and married by a man either rich or distinguished, and she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. Now see the selection of the word. She was never satisfied with the marriage. She allowed herself, she let herself marry this man, not because she fell in love or she loved the person whom she was marrying, but because of the fact that she knew it very well that she had no dowry, no means by which she could marry a rich man. Right? So it was rather an obligation on her part that she had to marry, and she married the person whom she could. Beyond that, she had no reach. She had to satisfy herself with a person, with the clerk. But she was not very happy marrying that person. She always wanted to be a part of a rich family. She suffered incessantly. Incessantly means continuously. Feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She thought that she is born to enjoy all delicacies and luxuries in life. She's so beautiful, yet she couldn't do that. So she suffered incessantly. She could never content herself. She suffered from poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls and the worn chairs. All these things tortured and angered her. So she did not like the dirty, the poor appearance of her apartment, the dirty walls and the worn out chairs. Everything she wants in life should be colorful, should be presentable, should be very nice, very decorative. And all these things tortured her and angered her. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pies! I know nothing better than that." She would think of elegant dinners of shining silver. She thought of exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. Now the husband was a perfect gentleman. He was always contented with whatever he had. When the wife would cook something very meager, very small, the husband would show marks of happiness. He would say, "Oh, I've never seen such beautiful dinner. It's the nicest thing for me." On the contrary, the wife, what would be her reaction? She would be thinking about beautiful dinners, elegant dinners, shining silver, food served in silver plates, and beautiful dishes, to which she had no access. She would think of frocks and jewels, but she would have no access to those things, and she loved only those things. Right? She never valued the things which she had. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. Now she was jealous of her rich friend. When she would return from her apartment, she would be crying for the whole day, thinking that why the person would have so many things, why her friend would have so many things, luxuries in life, and why she couldn't have all those things. She would weep for the whole day. One evening, her husband returned elated. Elated means very happy, bearing in his hand a large envelope. Here, he said, here is something for you. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words: "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau asked the honor of Mr. and Madame Loisel's company Monday evening, January 18 at the minister's residence." Now the husband had brought an envelope. It was an invitation letter from the education minister. There was a ball dance party and Matilda and her husband, both of them were invited. Right. And the husband was very elated. He knew it very well that his wife loved such company, right? But instead of being happy, delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully. Spitefully means hatefully, upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that? But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official wall there." Now the wife said, "What shall I do with this?" Now the husband said that you must be very happy. You always want to go out, and there is not many occasion. He understands. He knows it very well that he cannot give his wife what she wants. Right. So he says that everyone will be present, or the whole official world will be present, and not all the employees are given the invitation. Only selected employees are given so. So she must be happy. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" Now, sarcastically, she asked asked her husband, "What do you think that I'm going to wear?" He had not thought of that. Now the husband realized that, okay, fine, I didn't think of that. She must be given a decent dress. He stammered, "Why? The dress you wear when we go to the theatre. It seems very pretty to me." Now he was a man, always very contented. Now he said that, "Why? You can wear the pretty dress that you wear while going to the theatre. It seems to be very, very pretty to me." He was silent, stupefied, in dismay at the sight of his wife's weeping. Now the wife had already started weeping. Now he was silent, he was stupefied, means he didn't know what to say. He stammered, "What's the matter? What is the matter?" By a violent effort she had controlled her vexation. Vexation means anger, and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheek. "Nothing. Only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to the fair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I." Now this is an insult to the husband, right? The husband had brought it with lots of love, with lots of desire, that perhaps the wife would be happy. Instead of being happy, she cried, she wept, and then she complained that she had no dress, and finally she said what? That give this card to some other colleague's wife who has better dress than I. Than she had. Now this was an insult to the husband. He thought that perhaps he has not been able to fulfill the desire of his wife. Right? He was grieved. He was sad. He felt bad that he couldn't provide the basic amenities, or not the basic amenities. He couldn't provide his wife the things which she wanted. But yet he answered, "Let us see, Matilda, how much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple." She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. Now, who is this economical clerk? The husband. Now, she thought for a moment what to say, what amount to quote. Now, she was very carefully calculating. She wanted to quote an amount that would immediately not bring refusal from the economical husband. She knew the limits of her husband, so she tried to find out an amount which her husband would agree to give, which her husband could afford, at least afford, right? Finally, she said in hesitating voice, I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it, right? He turned a little pale. Now, this amount was quite a huge amount for the clerk. He had saved just this sum to buy a gun that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer. So throughout the year, he had been saving money to buy a gun because he wanted to go for hunting in the summer. So he was a little pale because he knew that he had that amount, but if he wants to buy a good dress for Matilda, then he had to give that amount to Matilda, and thus his dream of buying a gun would not be fulfilled. Being a very nice person, he allowed his wife to buy the dress, sacrificing his desire. He turned, with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Nevertheless, he answered, very well, I'll give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress. The day of the ball approached, and Madame Loisel seemed sad. Yet she was sad. Yet her desire was, she never asked the husband from where he arranged the money. Right? Even after the good dress, she was not happy. Now she wanted some jewelry. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready. Her husband said to her one evening, what is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days. And she responded, I am vexed not to have a jewel. Nothing to adorn myself with. The adorn means decorate. Vex means anger. I shall have such a poverty-stricken look. I shall look so poor if I wear this dress without any jewels. I would prefer not to go to this party. He replied, you can wear some natural flowers in this season. They look very chic. Chic means trendy. So the husband suggested that she could wear some natural flowers. Even that would look very nice. She was not convinced. No, she replied. There is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby air in the midst of rich women. Now she said that it's very humiliating that I would have a shabby air. I would look shabby. I would look poverty-stricken among the rich women. I won't go. Then her husband cried out, how stupid we are. Go and find out your friend Madame Forestier and ask her to lend you her jewels. She uttered a cry of joy. It's true, she said. I had not thought of that. The next day, she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Madame Forestier went to the closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it and said, choose, my dear. Now, she went to Madame Forestier, who was a rich lady, and told her story of distress that she wanted some jewels. Madame Forestier immediately went and brought out a closet of jewelry and asked her to choose. She saw at first some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian cross of gold and jewels of admirable workmanship. She tried the jewels before her glass, hesitated, but could neither decide to take them or leave them. Then she said, have you nothing more? Now see, here again we can see the never satisfied attitude of Madame Matilda. She was given jewelries of pearl, gold, which were of admirable workmanship, that is made of the workmanship was extremely nice. Yet she was not satisfied. She asked for something more. Why? Yes, look for yourself. I do not know what will please you. Even Madame Forestier said that she doesn't know what will please her. Suddenly she discovered in the black satin box a superb necklace of diamond. Her hands trembled as she took it out. She placed it about her throat against her dress and was ecstatic. She was pleased with this diamond necklace. Then she asked in a hesitating voice full of anxiety. Now she thought it was a real diamond necklace, so hesitatingly she asked, can you lend me this? Only this. Why? Yes, certainly. Now, this was not a real diamond necklace. So, Madame Forestier readily gave her what she wanted. She fell upon the neck of her friend, embraced her with passion, and then went away with her treasure. Her treasure was the diamond necklace, the supposed diamond necklace. The next day of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. Everyone looked at her, everyone wanted to dance with her. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of joy. All the men noticed her, asked her name, and wanted to be presented to her, right? She danced with enthusiasm, intoxicated as if she was drunk and she was under the addiction of something. She was intoxicated with happiness, with pleasure, thinking of nothing but all this admiration. This victory so complete and sweet to her heart. She always wanted this kind of life, and when she got that, admired by all, she was very happy. She went home towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little salons since midnight, with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. Now, Mr. Loisel was a very simple man, right? He did not want to dance in the company of women and pomp and show. He didn't like that. So he had been sleeping in one of the small salons, right, where 3 other gentlemen were also sleeping, and while their wives were merrymaking, right? Now he threw around her shoulders the modest wrap. Now she went home at 4 o'clock in the morning. She went towards her home. She left the party. He threw around her shoulder the modest wraps they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball costume. She wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. Now she had no rich furs. She could only manage to buy a good dress and borrowed the supposed diamond necklace, but she had no good coverings, woolens for her. So they had been carrying the simple wraps, which did not match with the dress that they were wearing. So very quickly they left that party so that she is not noticed in those simple wraps. Loisel detained her. Wait, said he, I'm going to call a cab. But she would not listen and descended the steps rapidly. She didn't want to stand there any longer. Somehow she wanted to leave the place. When they were in the street, they found no carriage, and they began to seek for one, hailing the coachman whom they saw at a distance. Now, they called a coachman. There was no carriage. It was early morning, 4 in the morning. They walked towards the river, hopeless and shivering. They didn't get any cab, any carriage. So shivering, they went towards the river. Finally, they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. It took them as far as their door, and they went very tiredly up to their apartment. It was all over for her. The fun, the good time was over for her. Very tiredly they went up to the apartment, and on his part he remembered that he would have to be at office by 10 o'clock. So the wife's life was easy. She would be resting, but the husband had to go to the office by 10 o'clock in the morning. She removed the wraps from her shoulder before the glass for a final view of herself in the glory. Suddenly she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck. Now she wanted to have a last look on her beautiful appearance, right? Now she removed the wraps, and then she found that the necklace was gone. Loisel, already half undressed, asked, "What is the matter?" She turned towards him excitedly. I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace." He arose in dismay. So he was already half dressed when she got the shocking news that the necklace was disappearing. He arose in dismay. "What? How is that? It is not possible." And they looked in the folds of her dress, in the folds of the cloak, in the pockets, everywhere. They could not find it. He asked, "Are you sure you still had it when we left the minister's house?" "Yes, I felt it as we came out now." He said that, "Are you sure that it was in your neck when we left the minister's house?" She assured that she had it. "Yes, I felt it as we came out. But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab. It was quite a heavy thing. So even if it had fallen, they would have heard the sound." Then they thought that might be it is in the cab. "Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number?" "No." "And you? Did you notice what it was?" "No." Now it is very natural that at the midnight they won't be noting the cab's number. They looked at each other, utterly cast down. Finally, Loisel dressed himself again. "I'm going," he said. over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it. Now look at the husband. He's such a nice gentleman. He offered the wife everything. Good dress, the amount he had saved. He offered that amount. He gave him the idea that go and borrow the money. He slept at the salon. He knew that the next day he had to go for work. He never disturbed the wife, asking her to come early, because he knew that the wife was enjoying. And even after all these hardship, when the necklace was lost, it was the final disaster. Even after that, he did not outburst. He loved her husband. He loved his husband so dearly. Even after all these things, he offered to go early in the morning and try finding out the necklace. Such a nice man she had got for a husband, and she never valued him. I'm going, he said, over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find that. So he went all over to the minister's house, and they had been walking a long distance, right, in order to get the cab. He walked all that distance trying to find out if he could get that. And he went. She remained in the evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. She couldn't go to bed. She was she was feeling sick. Towards 7 o'clock in the morning, throughout the night, they were in the party. Early throughout the morning, the husband had been searching for the necklace. Towards 7 o'clock, her husband returned. He had found nothing. He went to the police and to the cab officers and put an advertisement in the newspapers offering a reward, but no news came. She waited all day in a state of bewilderment. Bewilderment means confusion before this frightful disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing. So even throughout the evening he had been searching and he could found nothing. He said, write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. This will give us time. Now see, even after all this thing, he was not angered. He found out a solution. He said that, okay, fine, tell your friend that you have broken the clasp and we need to repair it before returning. So this will help them to get some time. She wrote as he dictated. At the end of the week, they had lost all the hope. And Loisel, older by 5 years, declared, we must replace this jewel. Mr. Loisel, who was older by 5 years, he declared that anyhow, he has to replace the jewel. In a shop of Palais Royals, they found a chaplet of diamonds, which seemed to them exactly like, so this was the name of the shop. Palais Royal. They found the diamond necklace exactly as they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. Now 400 francs, they could save 400 francs in a year. That amount was a huge one. Now see, 36,000 francs. How would they ever be able to manage that? Loisel possessed 18,000 francs which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. 18,000 francs, that is half of the money Loisel possessed from his father. His father had given that to him. He gave away that amount. And the rest of the money he borrowed. He made ruinous promises. Ruinous promises means a huge return. He got that money with very high rate of interest. Took money from usurers. Usurers means money lenders. And the whole race of lenders. He borrowed money from wherever he could. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a frigid tone, you should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them. Now she was quite angry. She returned the necklace after quite a lot of time. She said in a frigid tone that you should have returned this to me earlier, because she might need them. She might needed them. Madame Forestier did not open the jewel box as Madame Forestier feared she would. What would she think if she could perceive the substitution? Now she was scared. If she found the substitution, this had been changed, she might be angry. She could think, she could feel bad, right? So, but luckily Madame Forestier did not open the box. She would take her for a robber. Madame Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. Now she realized what necessity means, what poverty meant. She did her part, however, completely heroically. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt. Anyhow, they had to pay off the debt. So she fought. She would pay it. She sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented some rooms in an attic. A small roof on the top. Generally, a small room on the top of on the roof. Generally, attic is used to store things as a go down, right? So they rented an attic to live. They dispensed off with the services of all the maids. She learned the odious work of a kitchen, the hard and tough work of a kitchen. The husband was a very caring man. He had given him all the he had tried to give her all the comforts of life. Now she realized how tough it is to work in a kitchen, to wash the dishes. She washed the soiled. Soiled means dirty linen, dirty clothes, their dirty linen and dish clothes, which she hung on a line to dry. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water. She carried the water. She went out to clean the garbage box of her house, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. Now, she was not accustomed to work so hard. When she would lift water, the buckets of water, she would wait at the steps, at the stairs, and take some rest she would catch her breath, and again she would get up. And clothed like a woman of the people means very common woman, belonging to poor household, right? She went to the grocers, the butchers, and the fruiterers with a basket on her arm, shopping, haggling to the last saw of her miserable money. She would keep on bargaining. Please, not this, a little less and a little less. She would keep on bargaining. She would have a very hard bargain. This life of necessity was not known to her. The husband walked evenings, putting the books of some merchants in order. At nights, he often did copying at 5 sous a page. So, in the morning, he would be going to his regular work office, and then in the evening, he would do some extra work for the merchant to put the books in order. And at night, even at night, he would be copying, doing some copying work at 5 sous a page. So is the small change, the small amount of money. So he walked 3-4 times more in order to gather the money. And this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. Madame Loisel seemed old now. She had lost her beauty. She has lost her charm and glamour. She seemed older. She had become a strong and hard woman. She had lost her delicacy and she had become a strong and hard woman. The crude woman of the poor household. Her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her hand red. She spoke in a loud tone like those common women, right? Poor, poverty-stricken women living in those slums. She would shout loudly and wash the floors with large pails of water. She would do the washing and mopping and everything. But sometimes when her husband was at office, she would seat herself before the window and think of the evening party of former times, of that ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. She would sometimes think of those days where she was flattered, right, and she looked so beautiful. The last appearance of her beauty, she would think about that. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? Who knows? How singular is life and how full of changes. Now life is so full of changes. She realized it. Now she also said that how would her life be if she had not lost the necklace? How small a thing will ruin or save one. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs-Élysées to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. Now, one evening when she was walking in Champs-Élysées, now it's the place where people walk, right? She saw a woman who was walking with a child. It was Madame Forestier, still young and still pretty, still attractive. Madame Loisel was affected. she could speak. She speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? Now she said that she thought that she has been able to pay it. Why should she not talk with her? She approached her. Good morning, Jean. Jean Forestier. It was a good name, right? Her friend did not recognize her and was astonished to be so familiarly addressed by the common personage. Now, she was a very common person, and Madame Forestier was a rich lady. Now, when she was addressed in such a familiar tone, she was astonished. She stammered, "But, madam, I do not know. You must be mistaken." "No, I am Matilda Loisel." Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. "Oh, my poor Matilda, how have you changed?" "Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones, and all because of you." Now she was angered. She blamed her directly. She said, "It's all because of you. I have such hard days." "Because of me? How is that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned to me to wear at the minister's ball?" "Yes, very well." "Well, I lost it." "How is that, since you returned it to me?" And she said that, "How could you lose it? You returned it to me." "I returned another to you exactly like it, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing, but it is finished and I am decently content." Now she has learned the value of contentment. She says that she is decently content after paying off the money. After 10 years of hard work, she is contented. For the first time, she is contented. Madame Forestier stopped short. She said, "You say that you brought a diamond necklace to replace mine?" "Yes." "You did not perceive it then? They were just alike." You said that you didn't perceive it then? They were very similar. And she smiled with a proud and simple joy. Madame Forestier was touched and took both her hands, and she replied, "Oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false. They were worth over 500 francs. So 500 francs jewelry was returned worth a necklace of 36,000 francs. Now this is what is the theme of appearance and deception. So we have another theme here, which is appearance and deception. What appeared to be to her very, very costly was actually a deception. That was very cheap. On the contrary, what was really value to her real beauty, her loving husband, everything seemed to be worthless to her. She couldn't understand the real worth of true love. She ran after social success, she ran after ambition, but in her desire to get everything, she lost whatever she had. So thus, we end the story here. Hope it was interesting and you enjoyed it a lot. Thank you for attending the class. Goodbye.